Hey everyone, how we doing? Um, Welcome back to the channel. Today or tonight, I just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about fear. Um, Reason why is because fear is something that holds us back so much from our true potential as a human being. Um, Whether you are a man or a woman, fear can paralyze you and it can hold you back from becoming who God made you to be. And fear is justified usually, in the sense that there's consequences to everything that we do, um, but there's different types of fear. So I want to go over those two different types of fear as I categorize them, and go over a few other things. So the two types of fear I want to talk about is I'm going to categorize them as the wrong type of fear and then the right type of fear. And the wrong type of fear is the fear of man, the fear of your past, the fear of the crowd, the fear of just the opinions, the voices, the things you've done in your past. All these things will come up during your journey, and they will convince you or try to convince you that you can't move on from the pain you cause yourself or the pain you cause other people. Or they'll convince you of what you're trying to do in your life is just too much, or it's just not right. And they're all basing that off of their perception. And maybe sometimes they are right, but you can kind of decipher who has good intentions and who doesn't, and go from there. But I just want to say that you can't let that hold you back, because a lot of people end up getting to the end of their lives and they regret not taking their lives to the next level, all based on what people told them they should or shouldn't have done. So, you just have to be very wary of, or very careful of, why certain people are telling you to do things, why they're telling you to not do things. And you can't let their opinions paralyze you too much, or get you too caught up in not being able to move forward with your goals, not being able to move forward with your vision. So now I want to talk about what I view as the right fear, which is, or the correct fear that you should have, which is the fear of God. And this can sound strange to some people, and I know it used to sound strange to me as well, but the fear of God is basically just fearing to not do the right thing, and fearing that if you don't do the right thing, God will punish you and your spirit will be punished. And that's true. If we don't do the right thing in God's eyes, if we don't stand up for people when we need to, if we don't stand up for ourselves, if we don't if we don't do what God has in store for us, there is consequences of it. So the fear of God is just basically saying, I fear God's judgment, so I will do the right thing. Because if I don't do the right thing, God will punish me. And, all of our actions have consequences. So if you do the right thing in God's eyes, He will reward you. But if you're too scared because of the opinions of the crowd, because of the opinions of your family, friends, neighbors, whoever, and you're too scared to do what's right, then you don't have the fear of God inside you, and you're too focused on the worldly things that are shaping your reality instead of the fear of God. So that's kind of how I look at it, and that used to be pretty confusing to me. It seemed like a control thing. Why would you want to fear God? But once you start to walk in the faith, you kind of understand it a little bit more. And so I just wanted to go through a few verses too, to kind of maybe get the thoughts going a bit as well. And this first one, two of these verses are just straight from the Bible, the New King James Version. And this first one I wanted to go over is, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." So what I think he's saying here is that, if you're scared and you feel like you can't do something and it's holding you back and it's paralyzing you, that feeling is not from God. That feeling is from demonic energies that are trying to hold you back, that are trying to make you scared of doing what's right, because God doesn't give you fear. He may give you tasks that are hard to overcome, but he's not going to hold you back. When he gives you something to do and you do it through him, you will have strength, you will have courage, bravery, all these types of things, and you will be able to tackle them regardless of the pain that it causes you, and you'll be able to march through with strength. So you have to realize that if you feel that fear, if you feel the uneasiness, sometimes it's not from God, and you have to be able to decipher that. And then this other one is Psalm 25 verse 2. It says, "O my God, I trust in thee, let me not be ashamed. Let not mine enemies triumph over me." And that's basically saying that a lot of the times when you try to do the right thing, a lot of the times when you try to change your life, people will try to shame you or drag you back in to what they're doing, rather than letting you do what you think is right. And it's basically saying, if you trust in God, then you will feel no shame. Your enemies will not be able to march over you. You'll be able to stand with strength. And just remember this when you're trying to start a new journey in your life. You're trying to get over that hump. You're trying to forget your past. You're trying to not worry about what other people are saying, because it is fearful starting new journeys or changing your life, especially when you know that everybody around you is living a different lifestyle, or it's not going to be received, maybe popular, received well through the majority. But as you know, when it's the right thing to do, you just have to do it. And God rewards the courageous, and he is always watching. And it's just having that God-fearing spirit where you just keep doing what you know is right, regardless of how people react around you. And eventually your spirit will get stronger the more you do that. But the more you cave into the things that you know are wrong, your spirit gets weaker and it's harder to do the right thing. So just remember that, the truth a lot of the times is harsh. The truth hurts. It's not popular. It gets censored. It gets silenced. And that's because it's harsh. It is hard to face the truth. So just know that if sometimes things feel hard or hard to say, hard to do, that doesn't mean that it's always wrong. And when you're in a line with God's will for you, God's path for you, then things are going to feel like that, but you can kind of know that they're right, they're okay, and that you're probably just still a little bit too scared of the worldly judgment. But eventually you can get past that, and the more you get past that, the more courageous and brave you get, and the more challenges God will give you based on the levels that you keep reaching. And you'll be shocked once you just continue to do the right thing and you stray away from the temptations and the ways of Satan. You will continue to be blessed in your life and your family's life. You'll reap the blessings, and just hold off on that instant worldly gratification and all this stuff that seems fun in the moment but leaves you empty, and hold off for what God has in store for you, and it will be worth it. Just be patient, be strong. Like I said, don't fear the judgment of man, of your past, of the crowd. Fear God, and He will give you what's right. He will satisfy you.